Hello and welcome to today's video. So on the workbench today we've got the Nissan Leaf battery management system and a bunch of cable harnesses. So I got this orange cable harness plugged in. That's actually the one that will be going to my battery pack that's out in the garage. So this should be the correct wiring. It should just plug right in. But I had to plug it in because I needed to get this cable coming out here, which happens to be all of the temperature probes. So I've got all the temperature sensors hooked up. My battery pack only has 3. I guess some of them have 4 temperature sensors. Mine had 2 in the on the horizontal sections and then 1 on the long vertical section. So not quite sure why they only have 3. They probably decided that one of them wasn't needed and we're cutting some costs. I also have the current sensor hooked up, and you can see some wires hooked up to it, so we are going to run some current through that. I've got the Pack Sniffer running right now. It is currently just displaying the temperature of all the temperature sensors. So if I were to say take, like this is temperature probe number 4, because I've labeled it that way, and then we'll just go ahead and you can see the temperature starts going up. So apparently I max out at 28 degrees Celsius. And you can see T3, which is missing temperature sensor number 3, reports back FF all the time, which is a valid temperature. That would be -1 degree Celsius. So I don't know. I don't know why they decided to do it that way, but I'll let that cool back down. Don't have a really good heat source other than the soldering iron, but it is on, so I guess we could probably do that. But I got an ice cube, and that should be around 0 degrees Celsius, and we can grab what we got here. This is number 2, so we'll go ahead and put him in this convenient hole because, yeah, I've already done this, and it works pretty good. Oh, there we go. I was going to say it got down to 0 before, so, yep, that one's working. We can do the same thing with temperature probe number 1. This is 1, yep. So if I were to hold on to it, you'll see it warm up. 2's warming up too, but now we're going to slam it into the ice cube. No, we're freezing. There you go, 0 degrees. So it looks like I'm decoding the temperature sensors properly. That looks like it's working. So what I'm going to do is pause the video real quick, and I'm going to reprogram this guy to actually display the current, because I don't have it cycling right now for this video. So we don't need the ice cube anymore for that. So, be back. Okay, welcome back. So I've gone ahead and reprogrammed the battery pack sniffer here, Pack Sniffer, to now look at the current sense. It's not the most accurate thing in the world, but it gets the job done. Let's see if I can't go ahead and turn this on. So, let me flip that channel. Oh, I'm changing the thing. So right now we've put 0 amps through it, and you can see we're off by about ½ an amp. It's toggling between 1 and 5. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to take into account like the offset, or if they're doing it in the BMS. But it always seems to be off a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and turn up the current here. So you'll start seeing, apparently I've got it hooked up backwards, so because we're off an amp, now it says we're putting out -4 amps and we're putting 5 amps through it. So if I were to turn this down to like 2.5 amps, you can see that we're reading -2. Go ahead and I wonder if I have it at 0. Let me try something. I'm going to turn off the voltage to the current sense. So now it's completely off, and the battery voltage, of course, is not going to be correct because it's reading 512 volts, which is because it sends all Fs. Because yeah, I have no cells hooked up. But I want to try something. I want to turn it off and then turn it back on and see if it doesn't, I'm going to let it stay off for a little bit and see if it doesn't calibrate this back to 0. So let me go ahead and turn it on. Wait for it to boot up. We're not booting up. Oh, I'm on the debugger. Shoot. Okay, hold on. I will turn it back on and go hit run real quick. Let me pause it. Hold on. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I forgot that I am running on the debugger, so when I killed power to it, of course. But anyways, that power cycling, it did re-zero it. That's what I thought. I had a little bit of current flowing through it when I turned it on, and I think that was the problem. So, we're now at 0. Current sensor is at 0. So it does look like the BMS does zero it internally, which is what I would have expected. Because these Hall effect sensors are not the most accurate things in the world. But anyways, we'll go ahead and turn on power to the current sense. And right now we have 0 amps flowing through. You can see it says 0. I'm going to crank that up to 5. Oh, we're pretty close. Negative 4.5 amps. I've got 5 amps flowing, if you believe the meter. And yeah, so that looks like it's working. I'll go ahead and turn this back down to 0. And then I'm going to swap it, because this is bidirectional. And I apparently left it hooked up going the wrong way. So now we got it hooked up that way. And we'll go ahead and turn the current back up. And there we go, there's your 5 amps. And 5 amps. We go down to, let's go to 3 amps. 3 amps. So it's fairly accurate once it's zeroed. We go down to 1 amp. So 1 amp. So it only has a ½ amp resolution, so that'd be 1 bits toggling. But yeah, that looks like that's working pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and pause it again. I've got some other screens that I've made, or packet decoding, so let me pause it again and see if we can't get a new screen up for you. Hello and welcome to the garage. So we had to come out here simply because the BMS that I have in the basement doesn't have any cells connected to it, and so it's going to return bogus values for this next screen. So we're on the, this is the battery pack I have not taken apart yet. The one that I did take apart still back there in the corner, and of course we've got my nice new pack here. But anyways, we're out here to show you this next screen. So if I zoom in here, you see that I'm now reading the state of charge at 60.9% and the health of this battery pack at 93.9%. Now these are not values that I calculate, these are values that the BMS actually returns. I have no idea how Nissan actually calculates this. Hey, we went up to 94%. Woohoo! Oh, back down to 93.9. So yeah, these are real values. I'm not actually like calculating or anything for this. So this is what the BMS is reporting. Like I said, I don't know how they calculate it. I'll have to figure out something. Because when the whole point of getting my Pack Sniffer here actually able to read everything and process and decode all the CAN packets from the BMS is so that I can, when I take my version of the BMS where I've unsoldered their microcontroller and I put my microcontroller in, I have to write all the code to make it essentially use all the hardware and develop these same values. So this is my double check. So I'm going to have, if I can read everything out and I'm guaranteed that my currents, or that I can recreate everything that they're doing, then I'll feel pretty confident in my design for my truck. So, yep, it looks like we're not going to focus, but anyways, that's the goal. Thanks for watching. Bye.